Hello, it's Andrew from Eau de Cupcakes, and today we have my collection of mini perfumes. First up, we have some of the bottles I have from the Chanel's Exclusives line, which you can actually buy as an entire set from Chanel themselves for like €300, but I just bought some of the individual ones kind of online from kind of eBay type places, as it seemed quite an investment to make for decorative sampling. So I think most of the ones I bought kind of like in the 15 to €20 kind of range, which I know does kind of add up to being a good way towards actually buying the full thing. Next we have the Pure Parfum versions of Coco Noir and Coco Mademoiselle. You can buy those in 7.5ml, and all the minis that I have are 1.5ml. So next I bought the following two for kind of decorative purposes. It's Egoist and Bleu de Chanel. I'm more a fan of the Platinum Egoist than the regular Egoist, but I keep on persisting with it, but it hasn't kind of gripped me yet. As far as I'm aware, it isn't possible to buy any of the designer minis from Chanel any longer. I think they used to do that, but now I think it's only kind of gifts with purchase, and no longer just kind of testing and see what you like. Next up we have Dior, and these are from the Dior Privé line, not the Maison Dior line where they reformulated everything with fewer and cheaper ingredients. So I don't have the full collection, and I imagine the prices will have gone up on these, so I can't imagine I ever will now. But I don't know, as you can see, I emptied out my Bois d'Argent into a spray, and I used it up that way. I really enjoyed it, but unfortunately I then bought a bottle which was a different formulation to the one that I'd had the mini of, which was a disappointment, so I got rid of that. So Gris Montaigne has been now renamed to Gris Dior. I have a decant to that one, or a good sized decant, like 30ml or something, so it'll last me anyway. And next we have my Poison collection, which is I believe the Esprit de Parfum of Poison was the first version that they released. I think it's not the original design of the bottle, because it's the kind of squashed one, like the bottle to the side of it, Tender Poison. And to the side of that we have Pure Poison and Hypnotic Poison. I believe the Hypnotic Poison I have is the original formulation. Next we have Monsieur Chéri, which has been discontinued, and to the side of that we have J'adore. And here we have the original formulation of Dior Fahrenheit, and also Sauvage. So they're my only two men's marketed perfumes that I have from the Dior line. And here we have the most disappointing minis that you'll ever obtain, as I bought these direct from the MFK shop in Paris. I've had this sent like now twice, and both times that they sent them, they hadn't actually screwed the tops on, so when you see it to the side, that's the amount that leaked out during postage. And here we have some of my Guerlains. So this is the Le Petit Robe Noir collection. I used to own the one on the left, the original EDP, as a full-size bottle, but I've subsequently got rid of that. And here we have Guerlain again with Mon Guerlain. And these are my two favourites from the Hermès Jardin line, which is Monsieur Lee and Sur le Nil. And next up we have Hermès with Rhubarb, the red bottle, Neroli, the yellow one, and just the Eau de Cologne, the green bottle. And these are some of the Prada Candy bottles. So it's just the regular EDP on the left, where I have that one as a full-size bottle. And then we have the two of the Prada Iris bottles, which I at one point used to like, but I now just find that they smell like kind of rubber hot water bottles, which is not something I want to smell of terribly often. And these are more bought for novelty purposes rather than just being able to test them. So you can see on the left we have the Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal, which is actually the first bottle that we reviewed on Eau de Cupcakes. And we have Head Over Heels by Revlon, which, as you may notice, they may have had a slight design inspiration on their bottles from one to the next. The Revlon one is from 1994, and obviously Scandal, that's from 2017. I find it interesting to see the way that they've actually changed the bottles over the years. So the Revlon from the 90s, when kind of heroin chic was all the rage, and you would imagine there would be one or two rather thin models. The actual leg shape is significantly larger than the one from the kind of modern era on the Jean Paul Gaultier. And here we have the original formulation of Givenchy Pie. Most of the time I throw away the packaging for the minis, but sometimes, I don't know, I guess if it's particularly decorative, then I keep it. And these ones, I just had so many that I thought it was, entertaining or amusing to keep them. And this one's for El de Lolita Lempica, which was discontinued, 5 years ago or something. Kind of smells like, or similar to Casmarati Lira or Masque Ravageur by Frederic Malle. I believe the Perfume is the same on all three of those. So you're kind of thinking one trick pony there. As you can see, I got one or two of them. So I don't know, I guess I'll decant them out to an atomizer at some point so I can wear them. And here we have some more Lolita Lempica boxes, which I guess they're kind of going for a wedding cake series. Possibly they're trying to persuade people that this is the scent to wear for this season's weddings. So next we have the original Lolita Lempica, named twice, and we have two bottles. Conveniently, in the centre we have a good contender for worst bottle design ever, which is C. Lolita. And then there were a few times that I used to own different perfumes over the years, and I bought kind of minis of them as I no longer own the full-size ones. That's Givenchy Play, which I used to really enjoy, but it's not for me now. And then Cartier Roadster, which improved for me over the years. And the following ones I just really bought just for, I don't know, I guess decorative purposes or just to include in different reviews. So CK1, CKB, and June. I believe June was possibly discontinued recently, but I'd need to double check that. So don't blind buy or don't hoard buy them yet. And then they have Acqua di Gio, and this particular bottle is actually from 1997. And then we have Boss bottled Davidoff Cool Water and 4711. And Salvatore Ferragamo with Tuscan Soul. And sometimes sellers will include a random mini with your purchase. When we buy other things, as what they have is quite unsellable. Like for instance, I don't know, things that are quite obviously trying to rip off Le Male or something that nobody would actually buy separately for €5 plus postage. And this one is a Paul Smith one. I forget which one it is though. So on the left is Kenzo Perfume d'Erte. It's just soapy type of thing. I mean, it's not doing anything for anyone. And then Salvador Dali on the right hand side with Dalisime. And the following are travel sprays that I bought over the years. So I find it kind of a good way of kind of sampling whether or not I should buy a full bottle. So I bought Love Don't Be Shy, but the other two of A Taste of Heaven and Sweet Redemption, I didn't buy those. I guess at some point I'll post a comparison between Taste of Heaven and the kind of, I think, 5 different versions of Caron, Pour and Homme. Or for less money than you can buy A Taste of Heaven from Kilian for, you can buy over a litre of Caron, Pour and Homme. And so these are the travel spray holders that the Kilians come in. I have a few different ones, so I have black, white, and then silver. Unfortunately, you can buy them separately. Unfortunately, I missed out on buying the gold ones because they discontinued the gold sprayer. So I think I have kind of a disco one, which I'll probably buy next. But I think it's like €85. So I mean, it's a bit of a waste of money, but they look sparkly, so I'm sold. And next up we have the Maison Francis Coach on spray holder. So I just got that recently, and so I've quite few travel sets from them as well. So the first up is the Oud Mood collection, which you can kind of tell I've not really made much of a dent in, except Oud Satin Mood. I guess you only really need a couple of sprays off most of them to last you the day, really. And next we have the Women's Discovery sets from their travel sets. So I think it's quite a nice way of, I guess, exploring what they have that is available. I'm not sure there are any more of those ones that I'd actually buy the full-size bottles of. I'd probably buy Aqua Celestia at some point. I think I'm fine with just travel sprays on the other ones. I think they've actually started recently selling a customizable travel set, so you can actually pick them yourself, but it's just insanely overpriced compared to just the regular travel set, which will probably have the two or four that you're after anyway. And finally we have Baccarat Rouge 540, the Eau de Parfum version, which I have just a travel set of only that one in the one set. So this concludes my collection of minis and travel sprays. So thank you for watching, everyone, and I shall see you next time, and okay, goodbye.